We left the world suffocating in the age of ignorance, Jahiliyyah, a society where tribalism was law and the orphan's cry was met with mockery. But for every tear shed in injustice, for every heart that yearned for the truth of Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, there was a divine response being prepared. In the midst of that spiritual storm, Allah did not abandon humanity. The stage was set, not for a king, but for a messenger. In the year 570 of the Common Era, that cure arrived, not with the sound of trumpets, but with the quiet dignity of a birth. This was the moment history pivoted, the beginning of a transformation that would challenge every injustice we discussed. This is the story of the lineage, the powerful signs, and the simple, yet monumental birth of the Prophet Muhammad. May Allah's peace and blessings be upon him. His arrival was the precise fulfillment of a divine promise. The Prophet Muhammad, may Allah's peace and blessing be upon him, was placed within the most noble, yet challenged family in Arabia. His tribe was the Quraysh, the undisputed leaders and custodians of the Kaaba. More profoundly, his ancestry reached back, link by link, through the pure monotheism of his forefathers. Prophet Ismail, peace be upon him, and Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him. Even in Makkah's spiritual chaos, his bloodline was a living link to the city's original purpose. His grandfather, Abdul Muttalib, was not just an elder. He was the head of the powerful Banu Hashim clan and the respected guardian of the sacred Zamzam well. His father was Abdullah, and his mother was Amina bint Wahb. The future messenger was destined to come from the heart of Makkah's aristocracy, ensuring that his eventual challenge to their authority would be both internal and undeniable. The stage for this birth was set by a magnificent, unforgettable miracle known as the Year of the Elephant, the very year he was born. Abraha, the Christian ruler of Yemen, marched on Makkah with a massive army and terrifying war elephants, determined to destroy the Kaaba. The Makkans were terrified. They fled, feeling the utter helplessness of man against a superior force. Abdul Muttalib placed his ultimate trust in God, famously telling Abraha, "I am the Lord of the camels, and the house has a Lord who will defend it." As Abraha approached, his elephant, named Mahmud, refused to move. Then the divine majesty manifested, as recorded in the Quran in Surah Al-Fil. Did he not make their plot into confusion? And he sent against them birds in flocks, striking them with stones of baked clay. This tiny miraculous defeat shattered the mighty army. It was a divine prelude, an unmistakable sign telling all of Arabia, this place is under divine protection. Something immense is coming. The messenger's life was defined by challenge from its very beginning. His father, Abdullah, a man known for his dignity, passed away on a trade journey to Syria before his son's birth, falling ill and dying in Yathrib. Imagine the young wife, Amina, alone in Makkah, carrying the child, overwhelmed by grief, yet clinging to the hope of her unborn son. He was born fatherless. This early loss is profoundly significant. It ensured that the Prophet, may Allah's peace and blessings be upon him, would not grow up sheltered by tribal power, nor would his message be influenced by the pressure of family lineage. His guidance would stem only from Allah. This early heartbreak insulated him from the tribal pride that destroyed other men, preparing him for absolute humility. Approximately 50 days after the miracle of the elephant, in the year 570 CE, Muhammad ibn Abdullah was born. The Seerah accounts record miraculous signs. His mother, Amina, would later report that as he was born, a great light emanated from her that allowed her to see the palaces of Syria. This was a symbolic announcement. The light of guidance had been born, and its effects would reach far beyond Arabia. The baby was born pure and clean. His grandfather, Abdul Muttalib, rushed to hold the precious boy. He carried the child to the Kaaba, praising God for the blessing, and named him Muhammad, a name perfectly suited, meaning the praised one. The world had received its promise. Following Makkah's aristocratic custom, the infant was sent to the desert for strength and eloquence. A group of poor women from the Banu Sa'd tribe arrived. Their lands were parched, their animals dry, and they were desperate. They were only interested in babies whose fathers were alive, guaranteeing payment. The baby Muhammad, may Allah's peace and blessings be upon him, was repeatedly turned down because he was an orphan. Halima, desperate, looked at the beautiful, abandoned infant and told her husband, "By God, I will go and take that orphan child. Perhaps God will bless us because of him." This decision, born of humility and faith, was immediately rewarded. The moment the Prophet, may Allah's peace and blessings be upon him, entered Halima's life, their hardship ended. This was a continuous, subtle miracle. Halima describes that her weak, tired she-camel suddenly gained strength. Their barren livestock began producing abundant milk, ending their famine. Halima recounts the astonishment of her companions, whose animals remained dry while hers were overflowing. His presence brought not just spiritual light, but physical, tangible blessing to a poor family in a barren land. This chapter teaches us that true blessing often follows the care of the vulnerable. He stayed until he was 4 or 5 years old, growing strong and gaining the purest, most eloquent grasp of the Arabic tongue. After his time in the desert, the boy was returned to his mother, Amina. When he was 6, she took him to Yathrib to visit his father's grave. On their return, Amina bint Wahb fell gravely ill and passed away at Al-Abwa. Imagine the 6-year-old child watching his only remaining parent, the anchor of his young life, pass away. He was now doubly orphaned, completely alone in the world, brought back to Makkah by the maidservant, Ayman. This immense early isolation was the final piece of his prophetic molding. It ensured his heart was broken for the sake of God, prepared to comfort all orphans and all the world's broken-hearted. The boy was taken into the custody of his noble grandfather, Abdul Muttalib. The old man loved him immensely, placing him above his own sons. Just 2 years later, when Muhammad, may Allah's peace and blessings be upon him, was 8, the grandfather died. His guardianship was then transferred to his uncle, Abu Talib. Abu Talib was poor, but his love for Muhammad, may Allah's peace and blessings be upon him, was deep and absolute. He treated the boy as his own, shielding him from the jealousies and plotting of the Quraysh elite with the full power of the Banu Hashim name. This crucial protection would last until the Prophet's mission officially began, demonstrating that even a non-believer was used by God to protect his messenger. The birth and early life of the Prophet Muhammad, may Allah's peace and blessings be upon him, are a testament to divine preparation. He was molded by a series of hardships, fatherless, twice orphaned, living in poverty, yet continuously blessed by miraculous signs of favor. His early life established 2 crucial facts. First, the world was utterly reliant on a divine message. Second, the messenger himself was relying only on God, Al-Wakil, the trustee. He was ready to be the bridge between the broken world of Jahiliyyah and the perfect path of Islam. The light had entered the darkness, and it was now growing strong. In the next episode, you will see how the young man earned the eternal title of Al-Amin, the trustworthy.